How you doing, Miss Smith?
I am doing very, very well.
Good, good, good. As usual, how'd you rest?
Oh, really good.
Good, 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 good. Man, I mean, you killed it at the gym yesterday.
Oh, I did. I nearly killed myself, too.
See, you never feel the pain to the second. Are you a second or third day pain kind of girl?
Second and third and
Second.
fourth and fifth.
So you claim all the days?
You won't feel the pain with Body by Maria, but she will get results.
Hang on, we're still not getting. Now there we are out there. Morning, yo, family. Again, I am Smitty Smith.
And I am June Smith, River City Blues Realty.
And I'd like to welcome you to April 25th, family. We got 251 more days to go in 2025. Yes, I am keeping count because all of them are important to me. I am count your blessings one by one. And 251 more blessings to go, family. Hey, you know what? We talking about that crazy faith again, June. Didn't we talk about crazy faith yesterday?
We did.
And the day before yesterday?
And the day before that.
And the day before that?
Yep.
Surely we've talked about everything under the sun.
Nope.
You mean we still got some stuff we could talk about?
Oh, so many things.
So many things. And it's crazy, June. It's crazy because there are so many things to do. I had a wonderful experience, June. I finally got to do something that I've said I've always wanted to do. Mm-hmm. I got to do some volunteerism. We went to Feed More this week.
Okay.
Some of the agents at River City Blues Realty. Mm-hmm. And this is a big operation, man. I mean, it is a massive operation, and it's amazing the number of meals they prepare a day, the number of people that depend upon them for something as basic as food, something as basic as nutrition, and all of that is under fire, under all these government cuts, It's like, how do you make up for that, And when you volunteer and you get involved in that, you really feel how important it is.
It's very important.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how many people go hungry, seriously.
Yeah, and we live in such a society that surely there's enough to go around. June, that's what we profess all the time.
There is enough. And you know what there is also going on? A lot of waste.
Yeah.
And we don't even think about it.
We don't think about it, June. Well, they have a massive operation, and I tell you, I was blessed just to be out there the other day, just participating. I really was. I got to move one thing around, family. There you go. Good morning, Dante Green. Logan and Dante want to say good morning. Morning, yo, Mr. Logan, living Logan's life. That's the song, dude. When I grow up, I want to live Logan's life. That means I don't grow up. All right?
Okay.
That's what that's about, June. But
so you want to lay back with your arms behind
I do. I do. And,
wow.
and just have my needs tended to. That's the life, family. But June, this year we're talking about the better us, the stronger us.
Yes.
And we're going to continue down that mission. We got 250 more days to get that through. But June, I have a confession. Okay.
I've been fighting to get this on. I'm like, what's going on?
I have a confession, June.
Yes.
My confession is that I tend to think big.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, big. Mm-hmm. Bigger than big. And earlier today, I was analyzing what my big thoughts, big hopes, and big dreams mean.
Okay.
And sometimes, June, I get on my own nerves. Sometimes, why can't I just think something simple? We just can't have one tree. I got to have all the trees.
Yeah. Backyard has to look like a forest. Right?
Yeah. I can't just have one azalea bush. I gotta have every color azalea bush, and sometimes, I get on my own damn nerves.
I can see that.
So June, when we're thinking big, that brings big change, big change, and sometimes, and preaching to myself, family, I come up with these grand ideas, and the universe says, yeah, go ahead and go get it, Smitty. What does it do? It gives me everything I need, right?
Yeah.
Everything I need starts coming my way. I need this, here you go, Smitty. I need that, here you go, Smitty. That ever happen to you, June? You think it's a great idea, and then everything you need starts coming your way to make it happen?
Yes.
And what does it do? It reinforces that you're doing the right thing.
Correct.
But it trip out sometimes, June, where my bigness I get the things that I need, but I always get a slight, not always, never say always, but sometimes you get a bigger result, which is different than what you intended to get. So you sit there saying, but that's not what I thought, but this is what I got.
I'm gonna be honest. You're losing me.
I'm losing you.
You're losing
me. We come up with these big ideas. I'm going to start creating videos. I want to be bigger in the business.
Okay.
I want to get different ways of getting the word out about grants and down payment assistance.
Okay.
I want to post them on social media. I want to post them on Instagram. I want to post them on YouTube.
Okay, you're losing me again, but go ahead.
Well, you're just going to be lost today. All right? So, we're trying to do all these big old things, but each step brings a bigger set of issues with how to implement it. See, family, we can dream big, and then we start working big, but big sometimes brings big hurdles with it. Sometimes it requires you to spend bigger time trying to figure out how to implement the big idea that you had. And for those of you who aren't crazy like me, you probably are like June and you just don't understand. But you know what? It's okay.
Because I see myself more as a practical person. So I love azaleas, and I have, as you know, I've got a corner in my yard that's just for azaleas. And then once that corner fills up to the capacity that I feel, that's it. I'm not going to buy any more azaleas. So I'm just practical. Everything has its place.
Yeah, I'm not feeling that.
But that's why I don't understand, and big thoughts, because it becomes overwhelming. I have to condense it. I have to make it neat. I have to package it. And sometimes you can't package big thoughts because it's so big. So how do you function with such big ideas?
Yeah, I'm not
I guess
feeling
is my
that.
question.
I'm not feeling that.
I understand, but help me understand.
I'm not talking to you.
Guys, do you guys understand Dante? Do you understand what Smitty's talking about with these big thoughts? I don't know. I think that's what makes us a good couple, because we're so opposites, and opposites attract. And opposites keep each other focused. That's it. We can sit here in silence for the next. I'm okay with that.
But but June, that is it though, Big thoughts require big resources, and big resources have to be put into place. And when you're like me and you think big, and you want everybody else around you to be happy, not necessarily with you, but just happy with the thoughts that you had and the things that you try to do, it can just be overwhelming.
Yeah.
And it tends to make you want to close up shop. It tends to make you want to close in. Whereas crazy folks like me, we want to be out, But when you try to do things and they're just not working the way you want them to work, it can be very tough. Let's just say tough.
Okay.
Where you're always evaluating as you're trying to implement. Evaluating and implementing at the same time is actually the recipe of confusion within your head. I'm implementing this idea, but I'm evaluating if it's working. But everything says go forward. Go forward. You can make it happen. And June, sometimes I think that's just life. Sometimes I think that, the more we try to do, the more we actually have to do. And that's my point in all this, family. When we think big, we got to do big things to support it. It would be great to come up with the best thing in the world and then just be done with it, but it doesn't work that way. When you think big and you take big steps, you have to continue down that big path.
Okay. I'm getting what you're saying.
All right, you picking up what I'm putting down? It's big enough, I can't see how you can't see it. So again, this was the original idea over here. The universe gave me everything that I needed, but my finished product isn't right here where I thought it would be. Who moved my cheese? I came up with something completely different than what I intended to come out with. Okay?
Well, let me say this. So yesterday something happened to me, and I had to condense it. I was so excited about it, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, And then I was like, no, let's just fall back a little bit and let's condense it into smaller pieces. So are you saying for you, you would have kind of expanded upon it?
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And that's good morning, Lindsay Sear. And Lindsay says, and you get the big results. You know, Lindsay, and you do, and that's what's so. Lindsay gets it. It becomes.
Is that Lindsay Sear, the lender?
That's Lindsay Sear, the lender.
Yeah, Lindsay.
And Lindsay gets it. You know, you come up with these big ideas that just come to you.
Mm-hmm.
The universe gives you everything that you need to implement it, and it's not even, it's bigger than what you started to create. So now I gotta support this big idea, evaluate this big idea, implement this big idea, and it just keeps growing, and it just keeps growing. And sometimes you just want to say, you know what, I'm good being small. You know, family. And if that's you, I'm saying you are blessed.
But who's to say if you don't have a big idea, then your idea has to be small?
Well, I mean, I'm not. You're absolutely right. I'm not saying that at all, family. Not throwing, as they say, not throwing no shade at nobody.
That's
all right.
About like,
No. I'm saying just the opposite, June. Because if I don't have these big grandiose ideas, if I have normal size ideas,
yeah.
then you know what, you get normal size reaction. But when you have big ideas and you've got big aspirations that are bigger than you, all right, that's a challenge is all that I'm saying. And you have to make allowances for days like today. You know, it's not going to go your way every day, and sometimes you're going to end up with something that you didn't intend to end up with. Not saying that it wasn't worth the struggle, not saying that it's not hugely or bigly important, but it's just amazing how I start off to point A, but end up at point E, F, and G. That's all this brother's saying.
His ideas are so big that I don't understand. That's
all she's got to say, you know. And I get that, June, you know, and sometimes I feel sorry for those around me because but family, you got to be yourself in all this, okay? Yes. You got to be yourself, and sometimes being self ain't easy. It is necessary, but it's not easy. You know, June, I don't want to just own a real estate firm. I want to own a real estate firm that honestly and truthfully cares. That's community centered.
Yes.
That helps folks achieve the goal of home ownership. I want to own a real estate firm that cares about children, that supports children's books, that publishes children's puzzles and materials for kids, you know, to help, you know, good morning, Cynthia, you know, develop young minds. You know, I want to own a business that plants the seeds, you know, to help some second grader who don't even thinking about business, you know, say, you know, maybe one day I'll do.
You do. I mean, the fact that you started on that road.
Yeah, but that's started on that road, yeah.
Okay.
But it's so big. How do we get it all done in a day?
You can't.
You know, and then your big mind, right? Your big mind gives you even more ideas. You know? So it's like, what? Sometimes, family, you just gotta just do what you can do, you know, and just count on other people, places, and things around you to help you fulfill the bigness that's in you, because it ain't always easy.
See, that's why we match so well, because I will take small bites of what you have. I still have the ideas. I'm still with you on what you're trying to achieve as a couple and as a business, but I have to put it into bite size. Because if not, you just get so overwhelmed. Don't you end up not doing anything?
But when you got big ideas, you gotta take big bites. The bigger the elephant, the bigger the bite. That should be the title today. The bigger the elephant, the bigger the bite. Okay? Or you're never going to consume it all. Okay? Small bites, it seems like you never get it done. Bigger bites, you get it done. Gwen says very bigly. You know, family.
Wow.
You know, so that's just where Smitty Smith is today. And as I always say, if I'm the preacher, y'all are the choir, having to endure my mile-long sermon just so you can sing your song, okay? But family, let's be who we are. Let's embrace who we are. If we are big thinkers, then we just gotta think big, and we get everything that comes with it. If we're more modest thinkers, if we're more smaller bite kind of folks, then let's celebrate that, June. Because at the end of the day, the smaller bite folks, they're the ones us big bite folks turn to when we need help. But no matter the matter, family, we just gotta be who we are.
So my question is then, so if you're a big bite person as
Yeah.
it comes to real estate, does
Yeah.
that mean that, I want, okay, let's take this example. You've always wanted a lakefront house.
Yes.
You've talked so many times
Yes.
about being opening up your window and
Fishing
from
right
your
out the
window.
yes.
But that didn't happen overnight.
No, it didn't happen overnight.
So what happened to the big bite? Because that was your dream, but it took time to get there. You
This
had
is-
to do smaller bites.
Yes, this is all part of it.
Okay.
But I'm a big bite person having to take smaller bites. See, that doesn't make sense to me.
Okay.
It's like, what? I got to take 100 little bites? Let me take one big bite because I'm a big thinker, and therein's the challenge, June. Merging the two up, lining up with who you are, lining your thoughts up with your actions is my point with all this, okay? If you're a big bite person, then you got to have big bite thoughts or you're never going to get it done.
So if you go to the casino, you're the one that's going to spend $300, $400, $500, $1,000 on that one spin because it's going to happen.
That's why I don't go to the casino, but yes.
See, I'm on the penny slot.
Yes.
machine. I got you. Okay.
And June's on the penny slots machine walking out with a pocket full of pennies.
That's right.
Smitty's walking out with nothing in my pocket but dust and tumbleweeds. But you just summed it up, June.
Yeah.
But us big bite folks, we say, well, you know what? That's just the way it was supposed to be.
And you tend to take a lot bigger risks.
Yeah. It is, family.
You're making sense. It makes sense.
But if you don't, you don't. If you don't take the big bite, then you don't feel like you're meeting all your potential.
But could you and should you take your big bites in real estate?
Yeah, if that's who you are and what you're supposed to be doing, yes.
What does that mean?
It means that you evaluate. Mm-hmm. You're always evaluating.
Okay.
I took this big bite. You know what? This ain't what I thought. This ain't what I thought it would taste like. So what do? You make an adjustment. You're always adjusting. You implement, you bite, you evaluate. You bite, you evaluate. Because June, if the universe didn't give it to me, then I wouldn't even think about it. But if the universe brings you everything that you need, then that just reaffirms or confirms that you're supposed to be doing this. But every big thoughts comes big consequences, and there are big follow-ups to it. And sometimes the bigness is just, as Gwen said, very bigly. Very, very bigly. All right? But anyway, family, I'm just going to continue down this big thought path and just know that, you know what, it's going to be okay. Cynthia says, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. But Cynthia, I got a question for you. Do I take small bites or do I take big bites?
No, Cynthia's like me. She's going to take small bites.
Let's see what kind of person.
We're going to leave you in your world of big bites, okay?
Let's see. Well, that's the question of the day, family. What type of person are you? Are you a big bite person or are you a smaller bite person? And there's nothing wrong with either one because you're just being who you are and what you are. Mm-hmm. All right. Small bite, I got to take a lot more of them. Big bites, I take fewer of them. That means that I can go do bigger things. Does it? I don't know. So what do you think, June? You're a small bite kind of girl?
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
But that doesn't mean that I don't reevaluate. And
No.
I'm constantly reevaluating and calculating and restructuring.
Not throwing shade. And
definitely.
And June, to be honest with you, if I could choose to be a big bite or small bite person, I choose to be a small bite person. I would. Because, you have more time to evaluate. Mm-hmm. It takes you longer. Yep. That gives you more time to evaluate. So that's what I would choose. But you know what? You can't choose who you are. And when we try to make ourselves into something that we're not, then you're not really happy. Just something to think about, family. Gwen Murphy Johnson, what kind of person are you? A big bite or a small bite? Cynthia, tell me. Big bite, small bite. Lindsay, big bite, small type bite person. You
I
know,
might be wrong, but I would say most of the people you're talking to are small bikes.
Gwen is a small. She says she's a safer bike person.
Yes.
By safer, I'm assuming you mean smaller bike, Gwen.
Smaller bikes.
Smaller
sure, I
bikes.
think.
Okay. Yeah. You know, but you know, and again, family, just sharing. I'm just saying. You know, it's yeah. She confirmed Gwen is a small bike girl. You know, and again, family.
But we love these. We love the big
Yeah,
bikes.
y'all don't love me.
We
I'm
love-
out here by
we
myself.
love
No,
you.
you don't.
We
No, you
love
don't. I'm floating in this big old boat that I had to have. Couldn't get a small boat. No, I'm gonna get this big boat. You know. So again, family, you know what? It's always good to know who you are
Yeah.
because you can make allowances for yourself. You know, you can always make sure if I'm going to be this big bike person, you know what? I got to be really, really, really careful. Cynthia says that, Lindsay says, that's right. I love this. Without risk, there is no reward. Millionaires take risk every day. That's why they're millionaires. Fears of risk just means you haven't educated yourself enough on the topic and have a full understanding of the risk factor. That's what I was just saying, Lindsay. Lindsay, we on the same boat. We on the same big boat, you know.
But she hasn't said whether she's a big bike or a small bike person.
She's got to be a big bike person. Surely somebody out here is a big bike person with Smitty Smith. Cynthia says, I was a big bike person, but now I'm a small person, slower and decisive. I like that. I
So
like
can
that.
You change? I
Yeah,
didn't realize
yeah.
you could change.
Well, you know, I don't know that you change. I think you just accept who you are.
Okay.
And that's my point with all this. You know, once you accept who you are, then you can be yourself and you're happier.
Mm-hmm.
Dante shared, if we're talking about eating food,
I can't see it on here. Oh, man.
oh man, Lindsay said, big biter, jump and don't look back. I've had to develop this through and break inherited beliefs. You know, so I knew Lindsay was a big bike girl, you know, and I know Gwen to be a small bike girl, small and decisive, you know, measuring every step, you know, and again, June, and that's who you are. And that's why I love you. You my boo.
Oh.
But if I could choose to be that person,
Yeah.
if I could choose to be a small bike person, that's who I would choose to be because all of us want to be safe. All of us want to be secure.
But does it work if you do have that big bite? I mean, 2 big bites and 2 small bites together? I don't know whether it would. I think we complement each other because you allow me to dream bigger.
There is inherent conflict.
Yes.
It's true, but there's also built-in support.
Yeah.
You know, so if I'm able to help you to dream big, and you help me to dream smaller, more manageable,
more grounded,
grounded. That's a good word, more grounded, because you know I get these big ass grandiose ideas, June. I'm going to create this, and then I'm gonna go do this, and all this stuff is going to magically all gel together. We're going to get exactly what I intended to get, and it don't always happen. All right. You know, and so June, this is what's crazy about this, and Lindsay's gonna get this, and you're gonna get this too. So us big bike people, right? Just chomping on it, right? Because we want to get through it quicker. If it's going to fail, it fails quicker.
And these big bike people usually have big personalities.
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay.
Do you think do I have a big bike personality?
Oh God, yes.
Really?
Yes.
I try to. No, I'm just so cool. I'm just good old Smitty Schmidt.
What is it? SmittySmith.com? You're a big bike person, okay?
So again, family, if you big, be big.
That's
all right?
right.
You just gotta be you. You know, we can't always choose who we are and what we are. We can always, hopefully, control how we act. Okay, because but June, you know what? I got some more big ideas as I was driving home today. Ain't even finished everything on my plate. And now I'm trying to get even a bigger plate. I'm trying to move from a plate to a platter. Okay? And even I'm saying, what?
Well, we're going to have to talk about this later.
Yeah, family is absolutely insanely crazy. But as Lindsay Sears said, man, at some point, all this stuff just lines up and it works.
But you know what? I would say definitely on a percentage that most big bike people live their best life because you're taking chances.
Yeah,
You know, you're
yeah.
constantly rolling the dice.
Yeah,
You have big dreams.
yeah,
And you do whatever you can to achieve it.
yeah. Taking those big bites.
Yeah.
You know, and you know what, June, I could say the same thing about smaller bike folks. You guys are more decisive. You know, you're more purposeful. You know, you take that bike. You know, you make sure it's safe to go to the next step. You can evaluate fast. You can make changes faster. You know, as big bike folks, we take this big old leap of faith, and then we got to struggle it out. Whereas if wasn't that way, I could make sure I even want to jump in. You know, I'm already in. You know, I'm already in the water, right? You're on the boat saying, do I want to jump in? You know, and it just makes sense to me to be able to say, do I want to jump in, as opposed to Smitty Smith, who's in the water, knowing that the universe is going to give me a life raft, a float ring, a pool noodle. All I got to do is stand up, you know, June, because I'm in the water drowning, right?
Yeah.
Getting ready to go down for the third time, and somebody yells, just stand up, dumbass.
That would be a small bike. That would be the small bike person.
That's a small bike person on the shore saying, boy, you're in 2 feet of water. Stand the hell up. So what do? I stand up. I say, but I was okay because, look, I got all this equipment with me now for the next time. So, again, family.
So how does that relate to real estate? You know?
It's the exact same thing, family. If you're in big bite, you know, do I just take smaller steps? Do I save $1 a day? Or do I create a budget with the mindset of saving $20 a week?
Okay.
See, big bite, small bite, right?
Yeah.
$1 a day is safe. It's doable.
Yeah.
Right? Every day I'm taking action. But not me, Smitty Smith. I'm going to save $20
But it takes
a week.
longer.
It takes...
It takes longer.
Again, family, it's just all a matter of being who you are.
Yeah.
Because if it takes longer for a small bite person, that's okay, because you guys are happy taking longer because you know you're safe. I'm making progress every day. Us big bite folks, we're the ones who are going to get impatient. Why is it taking so long? What do? We stop.
Oh, yeah.
You see my point, June?
Yeah.
Big bite folks, if it ain't moving fast enough, we stop. And that's the biggest fault with being a big bite person. We can get easily, we just stop. A small bite person, more decisive, more evaluative.
Grammar don't matter.
You know, grammar don't matter.
It don't matter.
Ain't nothing gonna hold me down, family. You know, so it's, hey, you know what? It was just a thought, June. That's just where my mind is today.
But it's an interesting thought.
It is, you know, but at the end of the day, family, I gotta be me and you gotta be you. And you know what? We gotta get some stuff done because we only have 251 more days in 2025. Let's go, Gadget, go. Hey, June, we're at 22 for the year.
Woohoo!
So far this year, River City Blues Realty has fired 22 landlords.
You sure it's 22 and not 23?
It's 22,
Okay.
I think.
Well, we gotta check.
I'm
I
gonna
think it's
check.
more than that.
All right, it could be more. It could be a much bigger figure. But we're going to just keep doing what we're doing, fam. We got a big goal of 125. See, June,
Plus.
that's a big, and you keep now, you're going big bite, right?
Because I've done the calculations
All right.
and the percentages, and it can be done.
So, you know what, family? So, when you set a big goal, yeah, Gwen, I just put yours in today. Gwen had a closing yesterday. Gwen actually, let's give Gwen some love, June. You know what? We got to make it clear. Because Gwen helped another veteran become homeowner.
Yes.
Gwen and June, they serve clients that serve us. What better way to be than to help a veteran to become a homeowner? It's like I get to be a part of the payback.
Oh, yeah. It's
You
an
know,
awesome feeling.
I get to be a part of the success of someone who stood on the line for me to be successful. I'm telling you, family. I'm telling you, it's just great job, Gwen. And you know what, June? We can sell a house. June, you can sell a house. Gwen, you can sell a house. But what if you get to do it and feel good about it?
Yeah.
What if you get to do it and know that, you know what? I just got to give back. I just get a little bit of a payback. and your clients, they love you. Gwen, you helped a veteran buy a home today, and he gave you a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful review. Mm-hmm. He said you were great, you were awesome. June brought the power to the table. She helped make the transaction work, and I think that we need to celebrate that bigger, better. See, here I go, right? You see where I'm going with this, right, June?
Yeah.
How do we take that thing that just happened, that specialness that you and Gwen work so hard for every day? She helped a veteran this week. You helped a veteran this week become a homeowner. That in and of itself is massive, but when Smitty Smith gets to what I want to do, make it even bigger. I need Jesus. Y'all need to pray for me.
And not that we need accolades or thank yous, but I guess it's us, small bite people, those letters that we receive that says, thank you, you made such a big difference in my life and my family's life. And some of these veterans are relocating. So,
yeah.
Believe it or not, they haven't seen the house.
That's great. I can't imagine that.
They have made one of the biggest purchases that they will ever make in their whole entire life. And they're depending on an absolute stranger that they talk to over the phone to help them buy the house without even seeing it.
See, I'm gonna take that what June just said.
That's a huge responsibility.
June's a small bite girl now.
Yeah.
Here's what I hear. Here's what Big Ears hears, okay? I am working for a client in Texas. This is what June is doing.
Yeah.
Working with a client in Texas that has never met June in person. Didn't know June before they started working with June. June is helping them buy a home that on how many acres, June?
38 acres.
38 acres. You're buying a $500,000 plus home on 38 acres that you've never seen. That you had to negotiate day after day after day after day. All these little pieces and parts that June had to bring to the table to make it happen. But you know what? It's okay when we do it for veterans. Mm-hmm. It's okay because you get to give back to those that have given so much. Some of those have given, more than what any of us would ever dream of giving.
Oh, yeah.
So again, family, that's Big Thought Smitty. So I take that wonderful letter that June got. How do I make it even bigger? Y'all folks need to pray for me. Y'all need to reach out right now. Everybody hold hands and say a prayer. Good morning, Tamisha McRae, TGIF. So, Tamisha, we're talking about, June, what kind of girl do you think Tamisha McRae is? Is she a big bite or a small bite? Tamisha, I don't know how much you've listened to, where we're talking about personalities today. Virtual hand. Thank you, Tamisha. She said virtual hand holding. All right, I hope you sanitize nonetheless, okay?
I would say that she's a big bite.
You think are you a big bite or small bite? You think she's like me, big bite? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I kind of get that feeling too.
I think she has a big personality.
Yeah. So again, family, just saying, it's just being who we are. So Tamisha, before we end the show, we got to know, are you a big bite kind of girl or a small bite kind of girl? Are you small bite, small, cautious, evaluative? Yes, I made that up in case it's not a word. If it's not a word, I now own it, okay? Or are you a Smitty Smith big bite? Oh, yeah, there you go. Definitely big, super bright personality.
I know my
big
people.
Bite, yeah. You know your peeps?
Yeah.
You know your peeps? Yeah. And again, family, sometimes as big bite folks, we get into most trouble. We give up before we should. But if we can hang in there, if us big bite folks can simply hang in here and continue to do what we do, we're going to get big things done with the help of small bite folks who love us and support us and are great sounding boards. See, everything works for a reason. The puzzle fits together when we accept the piece of the puzzle that we are.
Yeah, because we're going to come behind you and make sure all the details are just tied up in nice little bows.
Yeah. We can be something but absolutely intelligent. Absolutely. Yes, we can be something but absolutely intelligent. Now, when she's saying something is like we could be something else. We could be problematic. We could be a headache. We could be a thorn in your side. But you know what?
Well,
I'm already not talking to you, Jude. But family, you know what, man? Tamisha says facts. You know what, family? So we're just going to continue being who we are. Big bite folks, continue taking big bites.
yes.
Small bite folks, please, we need you. Continue taking small bites. All right? But when we come together and we do our crazy faith cookout. That's right, June. I ain't letting us off the hook. You know I am Mr. Social Butterfly. And June, what kind of barbecue is this going to be? Say it. Go ahead, say it.
What?
It's going to be a big one or a small one? You know it's going to be big.
It's going to be small.
No, it ain't.
It's going to be small.
It ain't.
Little finger food. There's tiny little, what's it, pigs in the blanket?
No, pigs in the blanket. Nah, it ain't, family. Everybody, one hot dog, everybody cut it into thirds and share it. Nah, family.
There you go.
We're going to get the big hot dogs, and we're not going to burn them a little. We're going to burn them up a lot.
Oh, God.
All right? All right, we're going to put out the date next week, Tamisha, and we're going to put out a date well in advance so that everybody can attend. Because
Subject to change. Without notifying anyone.
I know the day before, oops, I thought you got the email, you know.
I'm so sorry.
But, you know, we are crazy faith, Jude. We are crazy faith-filled individuals out here being true to ourselves. We're taking small bites, we're taking big bites. It don't matter as long as we know who we are and we do the things that we're supposed to do. Because the blessing is the blessing, you know. The blessing is allowing the blessing to flow through us, not always just to us. The blessing is being a part of helping a veteran become a homeowner, something that, you know, June and Gwen do very well, you know.
I also want to shout out Lindsay Sear of...
I don't want to say it's Guild Mortgage. I will keep wanting to say the other company now.
I was getting ready to
I know it. You know,
you know,
it's Guild Mortgage. Yeah,
Let's
Lindsay.
say it right. I just want to thank
Lindsay Sear of Guild Mortgage. Yeah, actually, we got to send a really good client over to Lindsay yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, she typed it in right. You know, we want to keep, because we knew you initially, Lindsay, as the other company.
As the other company.
And it just got ingrained in our brain. Okay, so it just takes a moment to work that out. You know, so again, family. I got to go take some more big bites, family. I do. I got to get a bigger platter. You know, because I got to be me. Just got to keep doing things. And so do you.
And Lindsay helps all kinds, right?
Yeah, very.
Big bite lender, so she helps veterans, first-time home buyers.
See, now it's good. See that, Lindsay? Now it's a good thing. A big bite lender.
Hey, she can help anyone.
No,
to buy a home.
but family, I'm going to say this. Only because it's true. A big bite lender will solve the problem. I'm going to say that again. A big bite lender will solve the problem. All right? And the bite is so big that they take a big enough bite that you don't have to bite because they've already bit it. You know, they already have it under control. Just something to think about, family. Your team matters. Your professional real estate team matters.
Yeah.
Work with folks who care enough to care about you. All right? But family, always, always, always be honest and true to yourself. Lindsay, if you don't mind, please share your phone number. Lindsay says, ha, that's right. We have a VA buyer closing next week. No money down, $8,000 left to spend on buyer's debts, payoff. We bite big time. I want y'all to feel what Lindsay's saying. Her client did not have to bring any money to the table to buy a home. That's number one. All right. Number two, there was $8,000 of money left over that can go pay off the buyer's debts. What we're saying, family, is if you're a veteran, this is what Lindsay did, big bite lender. Not only can you buy a home, but we can reduce your debts to make the whole home purchase process more affordable for you.
That's
See,
nice.
That's big bite sugar honey iced tea. Y'all know what I mean by that, right?
Yeah.
All right. So a small conservative bite was, help me get in a home, and I think that's got to be. But a big bite might be help me buy a home, and I want to pay off some debts. That ain't supposed to happen, family. It's just not. So Lindsay put her phone number there. I'm going to read it, 757-902-0569. That's Lindsay Sear of Guild Mortgage. No longer mortgage. Because if I say it, it'll get stuck in my head again. It's like an Adele song tune, I like listening to Adele, but I try not to because her songs get stuck in my head and I'm singing them the rest of the day.
But I just also want to make it clear that Lindsay doesn't just help vendors.
Oh, vendors, yeah, veterans.
I know we.
Yeah,
we help anyone.
Yeah, anyone. If you want to buy a home, we're here to help you. And walked away with a 5% rate. What?
Oh, what?
What?
Oh, we got to talk about that now.
5%? Really?
In a 7%, 7.5% market? 5%? Wow.
What Lindsay over there working with you?
I have no idea.
I don't know. I'm a little suspicious.
Hey, man. Pondering up
I know
that big bite.
That big bite head of hers.
Exactly. She's thinking big.
She's thinking big by being small. Hey, family. She said, that's right, baby. Really. Hey, family. I appreciate everybody participating in Lindsay Sear of Guild Mortgage. Tamisha McCray of Tamisha McCray Incorporated. Okay. Yes. Hey, June, that's going to mean something one day. Mean something more. Tamisha McCray Incorporated.
Yes.
Hey, Cynthia White, thank you for joining us. Sister Dante Green, Gwen Murphy Johnson. Johnson. Thank everybody for participating this morning, guys. Help us continue down with your own personal mission of crazy faith. Big bites, small bites, as long as you, what, June Smith? Bite. All right. Hey, family, look here. Let me get back over where I'm supposed to be. Hey, we got a Grits and Grants workshop tomorrow, June. Live and in living color. Lindsay, give me a call if you're available. Maybe you want to come out and join us 9 to 11. It's in person, in living color. We're gradually ramping this back up, family. We're getting folks back in front of folks. We know when I can look at you in your eyes, I can get a better connection. I can really help you get home sooner. It's tomorrow morning, 9 to 11. Go to SmittySmith.com to register. It's absolutely free. SmittySmith.com. Register for our Grits and Grants workshop. Not the webinar. This is the workshop. Okay? 9 to 11. Lindsay, hit me up, SmittySmith.com, and you can register. That way I can shoot you a reminder. But what's the address? It's the new office location. 9011?
Yes, we'll put it in.
Yeah, I'll call you, Lindsay. Yeah. But again, family, come on out and just prepare to be educated. All right, family, prepare to go to work. Hey, look here. June, we are way over time. We're 43 minutes. I'm supposed to be in the yard.
Because you're a big bite.
I am Smitty Smith.
And I am June Smith, River City Blues Realty.
Family, thank you for joining us. And we just got one mission for you today, and that is to do what, Miss Smith?
Stay blessed and highly flavored.
Hey, I got to go, gadget, go. I got some plants to plant. I'm going to have the skirt in the dirt.
See, that's what big bite people do. They don't know when to end.
Deuces.
Peace.